Welcome to JMR Talks. Today we will discuss about Krishito, Nasti, Durbhiksham. Nowadays, some of the youngsters talk about smart work, forgetting the most important thing that hard work should precede what called the smart work. Let's look at what called some of the examples and what one needs to do to succeed in life. Now, there's a saying that goes as the harder you work, the luckier you get. Dr. Madhvi Gorusu, one of the four UConn School of Business alumni, she was honored at 2021 Women in Business Awards. She is a hematologist and oncologist, and when she was asked what is the legacy she would like to leave behind, she remarked that I believe in the Sanskrit shloka Krishito Nasti Durbhiksham. With hard work, there is nothing impossible in this world. That was a message given by Dr. Madhavi. Now let's look at what called Mumbai Dabbawala, the new Mumbai Tiffin Box Suppliers Association. As we all know, this was set up in 1880. Today they have about 5,000 employees with an annual turnover of 50 crore. And this was the company which was certified by Forbes magazine for Six Sigma. Now what is the secret of what called their success? As we all know, most of them they carry their what called tiffin boxes and cycle. They travel by metro and all that. It is nothing but their sheer grit, determination, and most importantly, unwavering hard work. That means a sustained hard work. Now, thanks to the COVID, they too face challenges. So what they did in October 2020, they have set up digitaldabawala.com for offering digital services. Now they are partnering with 14 local restaurants to supply the food to the customers. Now when we look at some of these successful organizations or what are successful people, what is that we notice? The first thing that immediately comes to my mind is that they have their own identity. Now the choice is before us whether we would like to be a parrot or a crow. Once what happened, the alumni wanted to pay a visit to their professor. So professor went inside for making coffee, and when on his return he brought some cups in the trays. Few of them are made of silver, some of them are ordinary cups and all that, some broken and all that. So few have selected the silver cups, few selected the broken cups and all that. So when they started narrating their woes in their career and all that, professor pointed out to the cups they selected. Coffee was the same in almost all the cups, right? But the cups were different. So what is the difference? They find. The professor asked. Then later on he told them that the cup is like a carrier, and the life is like a liquid. So let's enjoy the life. Let's live the life mindfully. The second most important thing what I noticed is that nothing comes easy. Bhartuhari classifies people into three kinds. Number one, cowards. They are afraid of doing anything. And their second category, they begin, but they are afraid of the difficulties that arise later. The third comes the brave people who fight till the last to succeed in their life. And Bhagiratha fits into the third category of brave persons who work hard to succeed in their life. And I look at Bhagiratha's life. When he was told that his ancestors will reach Swarga only when the waters of Ganga washes their ashes. So what does he do? So he goes on tapas. The Lord Brahma, he is please, he says please approach Lord Shiva. Then once again he does tapas. Lord Shiva is pleased. Then he Ganga, he controls in his Jatajutam. But he needs Ganga to flow so that the waters of Ganga flow through the ancestors' ashes and they go to Saga. So once again he does tapas, and Lord Shiva releases Ganga. And Ganga Ma tries to be a little bit mischievous, and she runs here and there in Jahanu Maharshi's ashram. When the ashram is completely filled with water, the Jhanu Maharshi becomes, what you call, furious. So he swallows what you call Ganga. Then once again there is a problem. So once again he does tapas and what you call plays a journey. So to cut short the story, ultimately he succeeds in getting the what you call Ma Ganga and thereby help his ancestors to go to what you call Swarga. So what is the moral lesson what you call we learn from Bhagirath's story? There is no easy way. There is enormous success awaiting those who work hard on a sustained basis. The third one, where there is a will, there is a way. Look at our Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar, B.R. Ambedkar, the father of Indian Constitution. He was born into what we call a poor, untouchable family in those days. Despite having that sad experience, he decided to overcome the situation. So with lot of difficulties, he completed education and ultimately headed the drafting committee of the what we call Constitution. In view of his work, he was awarded Bharat Ratna in 1990. So what is that the youngsters need to do, or what are those habits they need to what we call inculcate and practice to succeed in life? Number one, be a perfectionist. If you are good, try to be the better. If you are better, try to be the best. If you are the best, try to be outstanding. If you are outstanding, be an excellent. If you are excellent, wow. That's what total quality management says. Once a sculptor was working on a what called tiny bird on the inside of a beam. So one what called passerby asked, "Hey, you already what called done that job, but the beam is what called lying that side. Why you are once again trying to what called sculpt a tiny bird? Who will see? After all, he is on the inside of a beam and the beam is at the top." Then the sculptor said, "The God will see." That should be our attitude in life as such. In fact, one soft skill I personally feel that most of the time overlooked is what called improve. Every one of us should focus on what called improving. The second one, never say die attitude. Now look at this farmer, Amai Mahalinga Naik, an illiterate farm labor from Karnataka. He had what called 200 acres of land on the hilltop. Okay. Now the first major challenge is what called to leveling up the land. Then what called digging a well. It's not possible. So what he did? He what called thought of a suranga, a tunnel. First 4 times, 3-4 times he failed. 5th time he succeeded. And let me tell you, he was digging the suranga on his own without employing anyone, and then working what called outside to earn his what called daily wage. He uses what called sprinklers, hose pipes for irrigation. And looking at his success, many of the farmers what called nearby come here to him for his advice. In view of the great work done, he has been given Varanasi Farmer of the Year award by the people. So the balance what I call tips to succeed in life we will discuss in the what I call Krishito, Nasti, Durbhiksham in part 2. Thank you.